Are we headed for a housing crash? The short answer is no, and I'm here to explain to you why not. Hi, I'm Melissa Gleason with the June Steinweg team of Long & Foster Real Estate based out of Annapolis, Maryland. Key reason we are not headed for a housing crash is wrapped up in one word, and that word is inventory. In order for the market to crash, we need an overabundance, oversupply of inventory. And where we sit at the end of August 2022, we still have an extreme undersupply of inventory. Let's talk about inventory and housing supply. That comes from three key places. One being current homeowners listing their home for sale. Two, new construction. Three, distressed properties such as short sales and foreclosures. I'm going to dive into each of these categories and explain where we sit now and where we're projected to go in the future and how that determines whether we're going to head for a housing crash or not. Let's break down current homeowners listing their homes for sale. The housing inventory is increasing and days on the market is increasing, and that's a great thing. That's giving buyers more options, more time to think, and a little bit less competition. I mean, instead of average eight offers on a property, we now have an average of 4 offers on a property. So still very competitive, but still a little more options for our buyers, which is a great thing. With that said, the inventory is increasing, but not at a rate to keep up. For a market to be balanced, we need 6 months of supply. This is going to be hyper-local. In my local market, we're not even hitting 2 months of supply. Again, that's going to change market to market, but as a national level, you can see in this chart that we're still 42.6% lower at an inventory level than we were at the pre-pandemic. Next category is new construction and home builders. We've seen a big decline in new construction over the past few years, especially at levels that are not able to keep up with the biggest generation at their home buying years being millennials. And right now, home builders aren't accelerating their production due to higher price of materials, and they're still seeing supply chain issues. So with this said, we aren't going to get an influx of inventory from new construction anytime soon. Let's break down distressed properties, and this is going to be a lengthier one because this is where we saw the oversupply of inventory that created the housing crash in 2008. I've talked about it in other videos, so long story short, the lending standards leading up to the housing crash were very, very lenient, meaning people were given mortgages that they could not afford, which caused them to go into foreclosure. This is not the case today in 2022. Lending standards are very strict, and in 2020 and 2021, due to COVID, there were forbearance programs put in place that help people stay in their homes during difficult times. So you can see in this chart, during the housing crisis, there were 2 million homes in foreclosure. But since then, due to lending standards getting more strict and these forbearance programs, that foreclosure number is at a steep decline. So with this said, we're not going to see an oversupply of inventory come from foreclosures as we did in 2008. To wrap it up, to have a housing crash, we need an overabundance of inventory. And right now, there are no signs and no data to support the idea that an influx of inventory is going to come from any 3 of these key sources of inventory. I hope this video brought you a little more clarity to the market because I get it. You look at all the headlines and all you see is we're headed for a crash. But if you dive beyond the headlines and you look at the data, there's just nothing that supports we're headed for a crash. So I encourage you to reach out to your real estate agent or find a real estate agent that is absolutely certain in this market because like I said, it's an absolute wonderful opportunity to buy your first home, to get your next step home, to get your forever home, your investment property. It's an absolute wonderful opportunity that I hope you get to take advantage of. If you found this video useful, be sure to hit the like button and share with a friend. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.